When I was a little boy, I wanted to be a hero.
The truth is, when you get older, sometimes things don't always turn out the way you hope they would. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Handle that business. Believe in yourself. Create your own destiny.
What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be covering some squat tips, some benching tips, as well as some accessory work that I do on this training day. So stay tuned and let's get into it. What is going on, guys? Coach Joe here at the Lion's Den. In this video, we're going to be covering day 2 of my training, where I work up to a heavy set of 4 on the squat, and then I go into the bench press and then just kind of do a little bit of accessory work. But I want to coach you guys through some tips and tricks with the squat, the bench, and my thoughts on accessory. Before we dive into the training footage, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell somewhere around here. That means a lot to me. So without further ado, let's dive on in to the training block.
All right, guys, so welcome to the training commentary where we're going to go over my squat session. I also do some incline bench and then just maybe my take on accessory movements. So for the squat, I warm up just like I do with the deadlift from the previous video. Start with the barbell, working my way up to a heavier set of 4 for about 8 to 9 on the RPE scale. And primarily I squat low bar. However, I've been having a lot of elbow tendonitis just from overuse and doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, working a lot of grips, and as well as just low bar tends to irritate the elbows a little bit. So this is my first session back doing low bar, and usually most people will be able to squat about anywhere from 5 to 15% more, I would say, with a low bar squat, just the way the leverages work. So here's me kind of climbing up. I wanted to give you guys some different angles once I get into my working sets, just trying to make sure that I was hitting depth, which depth never seems to be an issue with me, but sometimes in the video it's hard to tell, and my legs, as you guys know, are pretty big, so I don't want to ever have a question of whether or not I got depth or not. So right now we're at 405, put my belt on. I use a soft belt and a Pioneer belt, because a lot of people ask what are the belts that I use, and those are the two. And then as you can see, we're getting a little bit more serious here. I'm taking more time with my setup, making sure I get that big belly breath, hitting depth, and driving straight up out of the hole. Try to keep my gaze slightly lower when I low bar squat, just to maintain a neutral spine position and keep a good shelf for the barbell. Now here's 495, and I would say this is my first working set at around a 7-ish. So I'll hit 4 here, which is looking pretty good. There's maybe a little bit forward barbell roll, which you can see if you watch the end of the collar, kind of dips forward a little bit. So just something I got to be paying attention more and keeping the bar nice and tight on my back. Put out a lot of videos in the past about squatting, so I'll link that above for you guys to watch any of the tips I've put out. Here's 525. This is the heaviest I've squatted in a while, which felt good to at least put some numbers back up. My max is 655 right now, and my squat's taken a hit for whatever reason. All my other lifts have felt really good, but my squat just kind of dwindled a little, so I'm just trying to get it back to where it was. And as you can see, depth is pretty good with this. I wanted to make sure that there were no questions, especially for you guys, that I was hitting depth with some heavier weight. But once again, really trying to keep that bar tight on my back. That's why I like using a power bar. There's not a lot of whip in it, so it's just a stiff bar to use. And this is my top set, I believe, at 545. So just mentally visualizing completing the lift, getting all the reps in. I think I remember this, maybe this unrack was a little unsteady, but typically I take about 3 steps, and then the last step, if I have to adjust my foot at all, I will. Yeah, right there I took an extra stutter step, which I normally never do, which just means the weight kind of swung a little bit. But this is my top set of 4, and then after this I'll do 2 back offs, so I'll take off about 10%, and I'll do 2 back offs of 4 sets. And the back offs are good just to get the volume in and dial in the technique. So usually after my top set, I'll say, all right, well, you know, what could I do better on, or what do I need to work on? And then I'll try to dial in whatever issues I had with the back offs. But that's total volume, you know, about 20 reps and I'm actually supposed to be heading out to Florida to do a collaboration with Steffi Cohen in the beginning of September, so I'm looking to peak for that just in case we end up doing anything crazy or any max off events, you know, at her gym. But this is going to fade into me talking to some of the members and watching them lift, and then we'll pick up back after that.
Come on, finish it. Come on. Okay, drive your knees out. There you go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Knees out. Drive up. Good. Come on. Push. Push. Nice. That's it. That's it. Come on. There you go. Come on. Good. Stay tight. Come on. Yeah, come on. All right, so I'm here with Coach Matt, who just squats. Coach Matt, what are you working on today?
I got some squats today, nice and sore, so
Yeah.
not too good today, but we're doing it.
So Matt used to be a track star. Insert track picture here. So tell us about your track days, Matt.
Yeah, used to be all endurance before I ever got into strength training. So I'm sitting at 200 pounds now, and when I was running, I was 128 pounds.
What was your fastest mile time?
Fastest mile is 4:48.
4:48. What do you think you could run it now and be in the way you are now?
Be happy with 7 minutes
Yeah?
at 70 pounds heavier, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm like 6'2", 240. I wonder what I could run a mile in. So like, what do you think like a strongman, average strongman time would be for a mile if the strongman community were to run a mile?
If they were to run, thinking like middleweights probably be in that like 8-ish minute. Someone like Joe probably up towards the 9s, I think.
Yeah, I'd be happy with like an 8 or 9 minute mile right now if I were to go run it. But we got on tap. Anything coming up next, or?
Got bench to finish out, and yeah, that's about it.
Any comps?
Comps doing Beast of Bloomsburg, which is a nice chill comp. Got a little home rivalry going on right now. A lot of our members from the gym are doing it.
Talking smack?
Yeah, talking smack. A lot of smack talk right now.
And what's your YouTube channel, Matt?
YouTube is Matt Malloy, and not the flute player Matt Malloy.
I've been watching a lot of flute players, and there is a Matt Malloy flute player. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so make sure you guys go and follow Coach Matt. And we were kind of foreshadowing to an awful YouTube video idea of how fast Joe can run a mile being a strongman. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So in the comment section, in the comment section, put down below how fast you think I can run a mile at 6'2", 240 pounds, being a national champion strongman. So moving forward, we got the incline bench. Haven't done the incline bench in a while, but I wanted to put this in my block because I always find that the incline bench helps me with my overhead and just getting past that sticky point of off my shoulders whenever I do a strict press or any sort of press. So if you guys are having trouble with getting stuck off your shoulders, the incline bench press is going to be something that I find will help you and also carry over to your overhead. So being a strongman, we do a lot of overhead pressing. We rarely ever bench, so I'm trying to find variations that closely will mimic what will help me. And my second working set here is at 275. Feeling pretty good. I was surprised that I could press this much without having done this in a while, but they seem smooth. And I was doing 5 reps at 7, 8, 9, and then repeating my first set at 7 for 2 sets of 5. Here's my top set at 285, which was moving pretty well. Have Matt there as my trusty spotter, just in case something bad happens. However, I don't know how much someone can actually spot you with that much, odd positioning, but needless to say, if he's there, it just makes me feel better. So here are my back offs, and then I do this for 2 sets, and after this, my accessory work was a dumbbell push press, and then dips for about 4 rounds of 8 push presses, and then about 8 to 10 dips with just a little bit of resistance. Conditioning for this day was actually jiu-jitsu. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that, but that's kind of the rundown of the second day of training for me. So we're halfway through this training series, and I'll get the next 2 days out for you guys, and then we'll release the programming block for you to give a whirl. And I'm excited for you guys to give me feedback on how it works for you. But we're gonna wrap on over to closing out this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, I really appreciate it, and hopefully enjoy these contents. So, later.
So hopefully you guys found some value in that video, and you can take some of the tips or tricks that I've talked about with the squat, the bench, or accessory work and add them into your training. We have 2 more videos in this installment coming out, and then I will release the block of programming that you can try. But until then, what I ask you guys to do is head over to Facebook and join the Iron Lions Facebook group. Very simple, the Iron Lions. It's just a community of like-minded individuals who are into strength training, whether it's powerlifting, general strength and conditioning, strongman, Olympic lifting, but we kind of all come together in a hub, in a community where we do training talk, we put out articles, we do form checks, all of that awesome stuff for free, and it's just a great community that you want to be involved in. So go head over to there in the meantime, but until then guys, be a lean, mean strength machine, and I'll catch up with you next video. Peace!